Check. Guys, welcome to the stream. 2 minutes left. Share this around. We're going to ride the bull market here. Lessons from trend following on larger time frames. New month, momentum, March. 2 minutes. All right, good morning, guys. Let's swap this around, and we can have a nice big me and a little baby James and Emma there.
Yeah, no one wants to see my bald head.
Yeah, perfect. Okay, guys, big news in the market. This is actually perfect timing. We were planning to do Momentum March. It's going to be all topics about how to follow the momentum of things, whether it's your productivity, whether it's the markets, whether it's jumping into a new challenge like trading. We're going to end in March with new trader discussion and snowballing yourself to become profitable faster. But what a beautiful way to start the month of March with an absolute cataclysm into the month. And I think that's the appropriate word, right, James? A cataclysm.
Yeah.
That's
I don't know what that word means, but that's out of my vocabulary. But that does sound like what's happening in the markets right now, for sure. I mean, we're getting a massive sell-off on Bitcoins, almost down to, 80K. We're underneath 84K. So, yeah, we're getting the sell-off. So it is a funny topic that we're speaking about right now. The bull market seems like we're in the bear market right now. So, yeah.
So I want to start off with, first of all, what's the issue with holding the bag, right? And we know that term, holding the bag, is when the bull market, like this is more of a crypto specific thing, but it does apply to everything in life. And our goal as a trader is to determine the trends and follow them, get in early, determine things before they become popular, and then get out before they're too popular. And then you're stuck holding the bag, as it were. And it's very, very obvious in crypto because we've all been burnt before in previous cycles where you get in at the top of the cycle and then you got to wait like 4 years for it to even come back, if it ever does come back. And we've seen that with NFTs, and we've seen that with the ICO boom, the altcoin boom, and now we're doing it with the meme coin boom. James, I think it's pretty obvious what happens when you get in at the top, and it's a project that has no 10-year future.
Yeah, well, in terms of the altcoins and that's a bit, that's quite a wild discussion actually as well. I mean, didn't we have like the Trump coin the other day, and then we had all of these meme coins that can be quite tough, and everyone gets on the bandwagon. So, those stuff can be crazy. I mean, have you ever been involved in those meme coins yourself?
Yeah, so I started crypto in 2013 actually, and I think the first meme coin was Flappy Coin that I was getting in on. Flappy Coin, you remember Flappy
Coin?
Bird?
Is that from that Flappy Bird thing?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And what we would do is we would sit on the school computers, and after mining Bitcoin with school computer, lab computers were mining Bitcoin. We actually made a decent amount of Bitcoin from it too, funny enough, back in the day. Now it would be impossible. But we were like, let's flip this Bitcoin. We made a few grand, honestly, and we were just students. We were holding Bitcoin. I think John got, because I was in school with John. John got 4 Bitcoin. He got a decent amount of Bitcoin. Back
how
in
much?
the day.
How much were they at the time that he got them at?
It was like $1,000, right?
Oh, wow.
But we were mining, right? The funny thing is we could have just bought them, right? But we were mining, having our fun, and then we're like, why don't we flip this? And we heard about this game. Like, there's this Flappy Bird game, right? And there was a casino basically where you would push the button and you would bet how far the Flappy Bird would go, and then you would double up your Flappy coin, right? And then we're like, we could just get all of this Flappy coin and then bankroll it and then flip it back into Bitcoin, right? Now, little did we know this was the first lesson of buying the top, right? We got in at I think Bitcoin was at like $1,300, something like that. Basically, 1,000. We're like, okay, this is the new boom, right? And the ignorance kept us in the market. And then we thought we could even go even further and make this into a meme and blow a meme, as it were, back in the day before memes were even really popular, right? And blow it up even more. And then we were caught, and I think I still have 10 billion Flappy Bird coins somewhere. And one day when that comes back, I think I might be rich. The moral of the story here, guys, is I don't think Flappy Bird's coming back. And you're going to find yourself in very similar situations. Now, Bitcoin, probably not. James, have you done something similar? What was
I've not done
holding the bag?
I've not had some crazy thoughts like that. That's for sure, Hunter. But I mean, probably the closest I've come to like your type of story would be kind of buying like Trump coin. That would probably be the closest. I bought some of it.
That recent?
Yeah, that recent, but just messing around, a couple $100 type stuff.
Yeah.
But nothing
Chat wants to know your favorite meme coin, James.
Favorite meme coin? Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
I don't have it. What's that other one? I thought it was quite funny. What was that other meme coin? One of my family members plays around with these meme coins on Binance. He was telling me about this. Dude, this thing moves to 26% in an hour, and I was like, what? But I don't. What was it? Cream coin or something like that? Some of these names are actually so cream coin or something. Some of these names are actually so wild, dude. I was like, that's where did they come up with these names? But I'm not too hectically involved in those spaces, but I'm sure holding the bag can be quite a lot more easier to do there because they move so volatile, right?
Now, Emma has quite the holding the bag story here as well.
Okay, let's hear this one.
A little kitty told me.
Oh, the cats.
Yes.
Yeah. So back when NFTs were taking off, there was a friend of mine who's working on an NFT project, kind of the first one to gamify NFTs. And because of that, I, along with a bunch of other people, were invited to test it out. And then I kind of decided to continue with it. And in order to do it, it was just basically buying these cute little weird digital cats and essentially breeding them to make more digital NFT cats. It was called Crypto Kitties.
There it is.
And I wasn't expecting it to, but it took off. And I made a lot of Ethereum off of it.
Yeah. Do you still have your kitties?
I still have a lot of cats.
Yeah.
I definitely made a decent chunk of Ethereum off of them, but I also just have a bunch of cats lying around, and I still get offers for them, which is hilarious.
You know what's funny is it makes me think of Neopets. If you remember Neopets.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. And that's what I said as well when I first did it. I was like, this is like adult Neopets. It's the weirdest thing.
We hear about all these things too late in South Africa, Hunter. It takes time for the pigeon to come and deliver the message.
The pigeon, hey? the Flappy Bird, right?
The Flappy Bird to deliver the message. We're too late then, Yeah.
Okay, guys. I didn't do the intro. First of all, welcome Maven
They
Live.
want it though.
They want it. They want the intro. 50K account. Best question to somebody in the audience. 50K Maven trading account. If you don't get the Maven trading account, you can buy one for as low as $15 on the website maventrading.com. We're talking about riding the bull right now, when to stay in the markets, when to get out. Those were some good stories from the team. Let's create a news story right now. How about look at that beautiful? I just got a Mac. Wow.
It is nice.
I was having some difficulty. We started 5 minutes late because
gotta zoom in a little here.
Do I need to zoom in?
Yeah, it's a bit.
Yeah. I say like the window needs to be bigger. Full size the window.
Boom! Look at that.
There we go.
This thing keeps popping up though, and I don't know how to close it because the X doesn't work.
You'll learn the ways of the Mac soon. It's okay.
I'll learn the Mac soon enough, guys. Last week, I lied to you. I said it's probably going to go up.
It did go up for one day. It went up for one day.
Yeah, it went up a little bit. I thought we were going to get, because of this nice monthly, I thought we were going to get a nice bounce off of that and then continuation. It looks like that monthly closed absolutely terribly. And what's interesting is now we have a duality of what direction it's going to go, because at the very end of the week, you have two different charts. First of all, you have your futures chart, which the week closed terribly. And over the weekend, the last couple minutes, and if this doesn't scream manipulation, I don't know what does, because that was the last hour of a market being open on that weekly candle. It pumped up and closed within this range. So a very strong indication tells us, okay, good chance the bull market is over. Just based off of that monthly candle, we rejected off the retest here. Okay. And it doesn't mean that we won't get one last pump. We could easily get another pump, right? Just based off of this weekly wick here, right? This could be the retest of that monthly level, causing us to come back down, pick up some more orders, and it could go up here. Or I know it's just going to sound terrible for me to say, or it could go down. I'm not completely sure. What you want to be expecting right now, guys, is a lot of volatility, because you have that duality. It's not obvious what's going to happen. This is a great level to buy off of. That's going to be the level everyone's looking for. So I would start scaling in. If you are looking to be a bull, you're probably wise to scale in anywhere from this level down to that 70K level, because this was where we found previous support. There's no levels in between. It's either this or 70K. So you have two options, right? If you want to be buying in. There we go. Different buttons on the Mac keyboard.
People like your chart color, by the way.
Yeah, amazing.
Several comments on it.
The orange and white, it's nice and aggressive. Right? Yeah, it's clean. There's a reason why we chose orange, and it's not just because of my beard. Guys, James, what are you thinking? Did you still catch that short?
So I was in some shorts on Bitcoin, but not the whole move. I got out. I got tapped when it came back up. I think it was yesterday.
Yeah.
So no, not from previous week. I did catch quite a nice trade on that, but yeah, I mean, it is interesting where we're sitting at right now on Bitcoin itself. Let's just also speak about maybe the US indexes as well. I know a lot of the guys obviously love trading Bitcoin here, but like the NASDAQ NQ, right? I mean, we are coming back down on the NASDAQ here too. And I mean, Hunter messaged me before today on this is going to be quite a fun topic, because obviously it's talking about bull markets, but we actually in the last 2 weeks, we've just been on a straight downward trend on the NASDAQ. I mean, we are sitting at the daily. You guys know from last week's stream, my technical analysis, we are at that daily 200 EMA. Hunter, if you can maybe get that up on the daily time frame. You know, I love my EMA. So we are at that daily 200 EMA, which I love for trend. And kind of on a bull market, if you are trading from a daily time frame, this could be a place where you could maybe be scaling out of your positions if you were in from earlier on in the year. You know, could we bounce from this level? Of course. But yeah, we are at that daily 200 EMA. That obviously can be quite a big support zone as well. But it's kind of gone right now. We did break support. I saw on the NASDAQ there to the left-hand side as well.
Yeah, it's interesting how a lot of these indicators and things kind of collide with other levels of interest.
Yes.
What I'm looking at here is that weekly level, right? What you're looking at is the daily EMA, and both of them basically need to close above that, right? Let's like make this a little bit more obvious here, so you can see maybe there you go. There's a better color right there, red, perfect. You can see both of those. It's at 20K 280, right? And here 20K 150, right? So pretty dang close, similar sort of style. As long as we get a bounce off of that level, probably a good chance that the bull market could be back in action.
Yeah.
Monthly level, same sort of thing. 20K 240, right? That's the level that we'd be looking to bounce off of, and then we'd be aiming for new highs again. Now, we said that the job of the trader is to follow trends, right? And to get out when the trend is over. So there's two major ways that you can determine. Well, let's first talk about when a trend might be over, because we've just seen this massive collapse, right? And how do we determine on the chart, first of all, that we could be having a collapse? And then the other question is, how do we determine psychologically and through media and through fundamentals if the bull market is going to be over? Because that's your goal, guys. If you are trying to ride these waves, and the simplest one is, of course, Bitcoin. NASDAQ, a little bit easier, just buy and hold sort of thing. You will get these spikes down every once in a while. But James, you seem to catch that short, right? Whether it be Bitcoin or NASDAQ, but you knew it was coming down. What sort of thing were you looking for on the chart that made it obvious for you?
Yeah. On the chart, again, you guys know from a technical aspect in my trading, I love to use that 200 EMA for my trend indication. I also love to use VWAP. So volume weighted average price. I don't know, Hunter, are you familiar with VWAP yourself?
Of course, but no, my understanding is VWAP is more of a day trading.
Yeah, more of a day trading, but you can also anchor VWAP to like last week and stuff like that. So it can be from extended periods as well, which can also read trends from extended periods. Yes, it can be from a daily VWAP thing, but it can also be from like a previous week's VWAP. For example, if you just go to the NASDAQ chart and you anchor VWAP, let me actually, I can share my screen.
Share yours?
Yeah, let me share my screen. Yep, let's go like this. There you go. Should be loading. There we go. Last week, Hunter was a bit sick, so I was the boss, and this week he's back. Okay, so like if you anchor VWAP, for example, like you can take your VWAP tool, which on Trading Views on the left-hand side there, you can get anchored VWAP, and you can anchor it to like the start of last week. And as you can see, it will come up on your screen like this. You can actually see now that blue line over here, it's holding below it, right? It's holding below it. So you can actually see the trend is down. So that's another way that I simply like to use, along with price action, of course, lower highs, lower lows, simple price action, which I'm sure you use as well, Hunter, in your trading. But that's pretty simple how I like to use. I like the 200 EMA. I like the VWAP as well, anchored to like previous week. And then just simple price action. I mean, you can see pretty simply on the chart here, we're making lower highs. This is definitely bearish market structure. We haven't broken like a new high and then started to turn, you know. So that's kind of how there's some three simple things that I like to use. Again, another way that I like to see is if we take out previous days lows and highs. I know I speak about a lot about that as well. But again, just very simple concept. If we're taking out previous days lows consistently, along with bearish price action, we could still be looking for shorts. From a fundamental perspective, you know, if you're looking at Flappy Bird, you might not hear that on the fundamentals on TV and that, but no, fundamentals is not. I don't really pay attention to that type of stuff. I don't know. Do you yourself, Hunter?
Well, yeah. So it's funny, actually. First of all, with the TA sort of thing, you're breaking things down more on the daily level, VWAP, lower time frames. You're making sure that it's scaling down over time. And I'm looking for major candle body closes, monthlies and weeklies. Like one monthly candle close is going to be enough to tell me that the market's dead. Right.
Sure.
And then that's when I'm going to risk off. Okay. But it's interesting because your option might be better for scaling in and out. if you are long-term investing in something like Bitcoin or the NASDAQ, I would imagine as you're seeing the charts print these lower lows and lower highs, you're probably scaling out, are you not?
Yeah, 100%. And maybe trailing my stop loss, depending if it's a swing position or not. We're actually getting quite a big bounce here. You can actually see we're getting a little bit of a relief bounce on the NASDAQ here at the moment. But yeah, I mean, you could, if you're in a position, I think this is what sometimes I need to definitely get better at this. But if you're in a position like that on some shorts, maybe, and you have longer term perspective, maybe from the weekly close that Hunter's speaking about, you could be trailing the stop every single time that, a new day, end of each day, I would say, okay, close the day red again. Let's trail my stop maybe underneath there, stuff like that as it goes down. So that's also something that you can do for trying to maximize winners. I definitely need to get better at that. Is that been something that you're quite good at holding on to winners, Hunter, or not?
Well, this is my whole concept is we don't need to even be shorting in certain markets, because when we're riding bull markets, everyone's winning, right? And the whole goal is to jump from bull to bull, right? So if Bitcoin, obviously Bitcoin, crypto, that's the one that really makes all the big bucks, right? And once that market's over, okay, I'm pulling out and I'm putting it somewhere else. Where else should I be putting it? Well, it could be, I could be putting it in gold. I could be putting it in the NASDAQ. I could just be putting it in a trading account that I slowly scale over time compared to Bitcoin, right? Or doing Emma's sort of investing strategy where she buys a Canadian house and hopes that
Okay, you gotta stop being fixated on the house. I have other assets.
Okay.
I buy other things. Okay.
Military weaponry. Okay.
Well, I mean, military weaponry. Am I really investing in military weaponry? You don't know my.
You're stockpiling nukes. I see.
God.
Okay.
Yes, I'd be the only person in Canada doing that.
So your job as a trader here, as we're getting more fundamental sort of things, is as the hype and the media starts going insane. Let me hide your screen here. There we go. As the media starts going insane for certain things, like we've seen a perfect top signal. Trump, Argentina, they made Libra, Cuba made one, Molina made one. These are all mainstream media, right? When the mainstream media gets involved with something, the trend is done. We've been doing this for a decade. It's always done when the mainstream media gets involved, and that's when it comes into crypto, at least, right? So you pack your bags and you get out. You start scaling out once you start getting these indications. Now, then you compare that with the chart, and you see, okay, maybe you're using James' method where it's lower lows, lower highs, right? Maybe you're using my method of just one massive candle body close. Okay, now it's a good indication to get out. And then switch ship to somewhere else. Now, you don't need to switch ship immediately. Sometimes the best bet is just hold the US dollar, right? Because that is the most stable for you. And then you can trade that. You can invest that in maybe a business, something like this, and then wait for the next wave, because trading is just leaving your assets in the least risky place possible. Is that not correct?
Yeah, I mean, that's fair enough. I mean, if you look talking long-term portfolio type vibe, I think another way, to maybe capture a bull run in essence would be to dollar cost average into a Bitcoin ETF or into a S&P 500 ETF, something like that could also be quite lucrative, long-term speaking wise, like I'm talking like retirement type account vibe,
Yeah. Okay. So here's another strategy now that you've brought it up is it wise to just scale in and scale out and just flow with it, back and forth, and then just completely don't even look at the chart really? As it goes up, you scale out. As it goes down, you scale in. Have you ever done that?
I see it as kind of like two entities. If you're looking to like build a retirement account long term, dollar cost average, you don't even look at the chart. Every single Friday, I put money, a certain amount into the ETFs. But if you like from a day trading perspective, I think I kind of see it then, yes, obviously you would look to scale in, scale out. But I kind of see them as two entities. I'm not looking from a retirement account. I'm just looking to be, I'm looking to have time in the game, not timing the market. I'm just trying to look for the long-term type thing. It's boring, but hey, that's what I want to do. I want to de-risk money from my day trading endeavors into like a long-term account, portfolio.
Emma seems upset.
Well, I didn't buy houses with it.
You got your mute.
I realized I don't want you to have to hear the clicky clack of my keyboard when I'm typing. I have a lot of people with a lot of questions, and they really want their questions answered.
Let's do some questions.
Yeah, let's answer them.
We're having a blast here.
I know you're having a blast. You guys are so passionate. I'm like, I don't want to interrupt you and you're chatting. So we've gotten a ton of questions while you guys were looking at stuff. A lot of people want to know just some strategies on or some triggers that you kind of identify when you think Bitcoin specifically is getting bullish again. Yeah.
So with Bitcoin, I would say I'm an expert at Bitcoin at this point.
Yes.
Bitcoin is the easiest thing in the world to trade because you literally only need to take one trade per year, and you're going to make the most money. And there's two major signals. Once people start talking about Bitcoin, so I like to include the holistic girlies in that group because I have a couple friends who they should not be touching. They should not be touching finance, and they should not be touching computers, right? And that's what crypto is, okay? And the second they ask me how to buy Bitcoin, I'm like, that's top. The top's over. It's done. So we get out. I tell them my Bitcoin, and then I go on my way.
Oh shit! That's
so basically, pay attention to the holistic girlies.
Yeah, you need a wide diversity of friend groups. You need some nerds, you need some gym bros, and you need some holistic girlies, and you're good to go.
And that's going to give you your indicators, how your social indicators.
Exactly.
Stop VWAP the 200 EMA. I'll just speak to my holistic girlies.
Yeah, just speak to the gym bros and the holistic girlies, right? It's funny enough because it's relatively accurate. Once the media gets involved,
you're quite right. You are right. I mean, as soon as you hear someone say, "Oh, should I buy Bitcoin?" It's sitting at like 100K, to get the hell out and wait for the next run.
Yeah, when your cabbie is talking,
Bitcoin, it's a lot of different things. Like whenever people who just aren't usually as interested in an asset start talking about it, and like you can tell they don't really know that much. They're only like going off of the hype.
Yeah,
I think it is a good indicator.
It is by far the best indicator, more so than a chart, because a chart can mess around. The media can't, right? People either know or they don't. It's as simple as that, and it grows, right? More and more people know, and then what happens is it dives back down and gets boring again. Once it gets boring and nobody's talking about it, that's when you get back in. Now, the interesting thing about this is we talked about holding the bag, and I have to preface this and say, if it's a project that's useless, just because nobody's talking about it does not make it a good time to buy. Not financial advice. All of these meme coins are not coming back. Just because people are not talking about them in 3 years, don't be holding the bag. You should get out of them. Not financial advice.
So, I mean, speaking of general sentiment and kind of your own emotions in it, there's been a lot of people asking about mindset for a bull market versus a bear market, and like going into what people are perceiving as a bit of a choppy bear market. Like, how do they prevent themselves from over trading or doing something dumb, essentially?
Okay, so then it comes down to, we're looking at Bitcoin now. Okay, so now you got the top signal from the holistic girlies. Now you need to know, okay, we've broken a new high. Okay, we've made new highs. That's a good indicator to start thinking about selling. Okay, if we're below the previous all-time highs and we've had that range down and we're now coming back up, good, keep it. But the funny thing is, people have been telling me, because I've been posting online saying the bull market's over for like months, right? The second that Trump took office, I was like, bull market's over, right? Not took office, sorry, got elected, right? That was November or something. I've been calling the bull market be over all through that pump, and it's been going up, right? And I've been wrong, right? Because it's been going up. Well, it doesn't matter, because I'm selling into the media phase, right? And that's what you need to be doing, is selling when it's going up, not selling when it's going down, right? So as we get that parabolic move up, that's when you want to be selling. You don't want to be riding the euphoria, because you do need to get out first, right? And the same sort of thing is when it's absolutely collapsing and everyone's panicking, that's when you start buying. But the caveat here is you need to have sold first, because if you don't have any money to buy, you're not going to be able to buy.
Sure.
And that's a really funny thing I see is whenever markets go down, people start screaming to buy more, but everyone has already bought everything that they can. Nobody has any more money left because they're already fully invested, right? So you do need to sell, and then you just go back and forth. As it breaks new highs, you sell, and as it comes back into those lows, you buy. And it's super simple. Even if you're not looking at the chart, you just look at a line, back and forth.
I've had a lot of people ask, as well as a follow-up to that, about risk management techniques in a market like this. Is there anything you'd recommend?
With Bitcoin, I personally recommend that you never leverage trade, you only spot trade. So James was talking about shorting Bitcoin before, right? Now,
that would be leveraged. Yeah.
Yeah. How do you keep yourself safe in a short? Because to me, it looks like, and I've been calling this for a while, to me, it looks like 2025 is going to be bearish. Okay. Whether or not we go for another high, completely irrelevant. I think there's going to be a lot of bearish action in 2025, 2026. So how are we going to take advantage of that? How do we short it safely, James?
Yeah. So for me, if you're trading leverage products, you always got to be aware of that. The first thing I always say is that if you are trading personal accounts, or if you're trading prop accounts, they are going to be leverage products, CFDs, right? So you need to be aware of that. You can't just go and put in $1,000 into a personal account and expect to turn it into 10,000. Your chance of blowing that account is great. That's just a fact. I would say, again, like, you got to know where your stops are. How much are you risking of your account? I use risk calculators and all that type of stuff to actually help with that. But when you're shorting Bitcoin, I'm not putting my whole account on the line. For example, if you're trading 50K Maven account, which someone's going to win at the end of today, how much are you risking? 1%, which would be obviously $500. Where's your stop loss? And then you work out your position size in relation to that. There's free resources out there that you can do that, so you can get the correct position size that is suitable for your account size. You shouldn't just be going in there and full leveraging the account. It's just not going to end well. And you need to be aware of that. So I have specific tools that help me get the right position sizing for my accounts when shorting a leverage product like Bitcoin. Yeah.
Right on. Yeah, good stuff. You do need to have some sort of determination of when to get out if you are.
Yeah, for sure.
And what I would suggest is, if you are going to short, do as minimal leverage as you can, because your goal is not to make money on the short side. You're pretty silly if you're shorting Bitcoin in the grand scheme of things. Anyone who's shorted Bitcoin for more than a couple of years has been wrong.
Yeah. Oh yeah. If you're holding for a couple of years, yeah. Luckily, I just hold for a couple of days. I'm Hunter.
Yeah.
No, but yeah, long term, yeah. I mean, long term, I'm a bull on Bitcoin long term as well. I mean, I think it's definitely going to be around here for many, many more years. I mean, you simply cannot ignore it. There's actually been, if I can bring up a few questions I've seen come through on the streams.
Yeah, please do.
There's been some things here, like, how do you come back after a tough trading week? I think that we've spoken. I think we've obviously had some good discussions here with Hunter and me and Emma, and the last couple of weeks. But I think just sometimes just taking a break. We spoke about. I think this was like the first week that I was on, if I'm not mistaken. Hunter, like, just knowing when to actually take a break, walk away from. Like, once you've been in the game long enough, you need to actually have some time to actually chill. And that's sometimes even like when let's say you shorted Bitcoin and you got your like an idiot like me, and you got your ass handed to you. Yeah. You need to sometimes just take a break and get off the desk as well. So yeah, there's some good questions here as well.
There's been a ton of good questions.
I want to ask Hunter though, what's your favorite ticket to trade, your asset to trade personally?
Oh, NASDAQ, man.
NASDAQ.
The one that's made me the most money is Bitcoin.
Yeah, sure.
And the funny thing is, if I try to day trade Bitcoin, I'm wrong.
Yeah, it's tough. It can be tough.
I'm very good at positional trading Bitcoin.
Sure.
And knowing the tops, knowing when to de-risk, because it's incredibly easy if you think about it. You just need to be honest with yourself, really, and
follow the holistic girlies. That's what.
Yeah, it's not try to, like, you have to be you have to remove your ego and just say, hey, I've made a shitload of money.
Yeah.
I'm done.
Get the hell out.
Right.
Yeah. Fair.
What was I going to say here? There's another top signal in every market, and you can extrapolate this to whatever market you're in. When some sort of new technology comes in that everyone says, wow, this is the next big thing, that's the top, right? This cycle was meme coins. Last cycle was NFTs. The cycle before was ICOs, and the cycle before that was altcoins, right? And every single time it was this brand new thing that was going to make tons of money, and then within 6 months, within 4 months, whatever it was, the entire market collapsed 80%. Okay. And actually, here's a question. Do you think we're going to hit 80% collapse this cycle, just like every other cycle?
80%. Jeez, that would be a mess.
80% is
20K
80%
on Bitcoin.
Before you freak out. That's happened every single cycle.
That's wild. Maybe it only seems bigger now because Bitcoin reached 100K. So 20% pullback. Well, 80% pullback would mean we go to 20K, you know?
Yeah. So what's your thought? Do you think we're going to do it? Because to bet, the thing is, to bet against what's happened every single time is a fool's game, right? If it's happened 100% of the time, why would it not happen again? So it's 77% last time, right? Let me throw it on the chart here. So we had here, I'm going to pull that up bigger. So assuming this is the top, which it might not be, we might go for another blast up here to 130 or something, right? That was 77, right? Look at that. And this one was, and I believe before these cycles, it was even more extreme. You've got 84 there, and it was like 90% the cycle before. If you look at old data. So it does seem like it's getting lesser. So maybe, 70%. Do you think it'll go 70? That would be the trend, right?
I mean, as you said, it's a fool's game to bet against what's happened, but that would be a pretty nasty pullback. That's for sure.
That would be pretty bad, right? I see it as a potential. The thing is, we've never been in like a major pullback really. With the entire global economy. What might support this is that the ETFs are in now. So people might be buying more similarly to how the NASDAQ flows. So there might be more buying around here, and we might only see say this is the top, we might only see a 60% collapse, which might be, in this area, which seems perfectly reasonable. Previous all-time highs, this area of support as well. I see much lower than 70. If I were to be honest. So anyone who's still thinking that we're in a bull market, there's still opportunity to buy here, but you would be very risky to be hoping for more.
I mean, that would be that would be a deep pullback for sure on Bitcoin. Yeah.
Emma, we got some more questions about, because I know what I just said is probably going to ruffle the feathers.
Yeah. There's a little, since you mentioned NASDAQ before, there's a lot of people asking what your view of NASDAQ is going to be for the next 4 to 6 months. So I don't know if you have any opinions to throw out there, or if you're waiting to see what the market does.
James, you want to pop up your screen?
Yeah, let's pull up the NASDAQ. Let's pull up the NASDAQ chart. So this is the daily chart on the NASDAQ or US 100. Hunter, what do you think about the different names? You obviously get NQ, which would be the futures contract, and then you get US 100. There's so many different names for this.
So just so the audience is aware of how this works, the NQ is the CME, the Chicago Mercantile Exchange. Yes. That's the futures contract, and the NQ exclamation mark, that is the rolling contract. So it just kind of cycles over itself. There are contracts within that expire every quarter, right? So that'll be like your NQ M4, it'll be some number or something like this. I think it's the year and some letter or something. And that's the futures contracts. The US 100, the NDX 100, these are CFD names that are represented so that they just know what the asset is called on the brokerage that you're using, right? So it's all the same in reference to the NASDAQ, but they can be different in terms of the exact price.
Sure. So this is that's the correct way. There can be different pricing like across different brokers on the CFD and compared to the futures. We are on the daily chart on the NASDAQ. Just something interesting. We are back at this level from where we broke out. Remember when Trump got elected on the 6th of November? We are actually back at almost at this identical price. We actually did fill it back today. And then we moved up about 9-10% or 10% max. And now we're back to this level. I mean, obviously this level is going to be crucial. This is a support level on the daily time frame. As mentioned, we are at the 200 EMA. I think when people always ask me, Hunter, I don't know what your take is on this, but when people or traders always ask me, James, where is the NASDAQ going to be in 4 to 6 months? I'm got as better of a guess as you do. I don't have. No one can actually predict the future. You got to just trade what's in real time. You can have all the technical analysis, everything like that, but we have the same guess. No one knows. It's 50-50. You just got to trade what's in front of you. If you're a day trader, a type swing trader, trade what's in front of you. Trade your setups, and one day at a time. I mean, I don't have a special genie that's going to tell me.
It is interesting that you reflect on the NASDAQ actually being at the same level, because that's a huge psychological level.
Yeah.
Just in terms of, hey, is Trump good for the economy, right? And that's a lot of people are going to be buying, saying, okay, I think he's good for the economy, so I'm going to buy this level because if it goes below, that means he's doing a bad job, right? And if people do want to sell it here, then they're basically saying that Trump is going to do a poor job in office here because he's only been in office for like a month, right? That hype phase is now over. So that volume that we had for the past month or two, that was completely just simulated sort of aggression, right? That's not actually what's happening. Now is our true test of, is the economy going to do well or not?
Sure.
Exactly what you said though, man. 4 to 6 months, I could not tell you. I would be able to predict Bitcoin because I've been watching Bitcoin for much longer than the NASDAQ.
Sure.
But the NASDAQ, I'm not sure. I can only tell you what the next move is going to be. And I could tell you that there's a good chance that we're going to see a buy here. That's what I'm looking at. Just based off of that exactly you said, that 200 EMA.
Yes.
The weekly
those levels that
level,
we're looking at. Yeah.
The weekly level, it looks like the daily's getting bought up off that as well. That should give us a little bit more pressure to the upside to retest those highs.
Yeah, I do like this level for sure for longs.
Yeah. So I'd be a long bias here into your day trading, and then hopefully.
Next time when I come on stream and I've had a killer week this next week buying the NASDAQ, I'll send Hunter my thanks.
Yeah, you've been killing it lately. Emma, let's get a couple questions and finish up.
Yeah, sure. I'll grab a quick question here. Someone just said Bitcoin or gold for the week. Which one would you choose?
Oh, to buy.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, let's throw gold on the screen really quick here. Gold.
Gold looks a lot more bullish than Bitcoin, I must say.
I'm gonna put gold here. Okay, for the week, eh?
Yeah.
Sir.
Oh shoot.
See how Hunter's got GC up because the Americans are banned from CFDs.
Yeah, I like the futures market better. It's
they're all centralized. I won't lie. That is something that is really sick because I mean, what's your gold price sitting at there at the moment, Hunter?
The gold price $29.24.
Yeah, see on the CFDs it's $29.13.
Yeah, I got a better price than you. Hey, I can sell my gold.
Yeah, maybe it's lagging. Maybe I should buy so it catches up.
Yeah. I'd buy Bitcoin personally for the next week. You know why? Because this weekly candle was so incredibly bullish. We just had a dip back down, and it looks like that daily is actually going to be a nice wick as well, right off that level. So I'd expect us to be coming back up here. With gold, we're retesting, as we've just had a nice move up, which is great, but potentially we're retesting this untested level and moving to the downside, actually. And even so, it could go up, but it could only go to about here, right? Until we see some more resistance. And then if we're only holding for a week, I think you have a higher probability of making more money on Bitcoin. But you'd choose gold, hey?
Well, gold obviously does look a little bit more bullish just from where we're sitting at right now. Let's actually, this will be quite fun. And so I'm going to take the opposite. Remember when you did the trading battle together and we had to take opposite trades of each other? I don't know how that made sense. But anyway.
Yes.
Let's and then we couldn't log into our accounts. Let's mark off now. You guys on stream, let's mark off now where gold is right now. I'm going to say we're going to get some longs. And then let's mark off Bitcoin, and Hunter saying we're going to get some longs. Let's mark off the price and see. Yes.
James longs gold, right?
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to go 29.23, okay? 29.23.7, because that 0.7 might be the deal.
That makes a difference.
Okay, we're going to do it right here. We're going to do this level.
Maybe this is something we can actually speak about on. Let us know in the chat here, guys, if this is something that you would like to see. Maybe we give a thought for the next week until the next stream, and see how we go with that, right?
And I'm gonna do it on this one
on
here.
Bitcoin.
Yeah, Bitcoin. 85,300. Let's say. Chris, I'll say Hunter. That's longest Bitcoin. Okay. And let's see who makes more money.
Yeah.
All right. Good bet.
I got 10 minis on. I got 10 minis long.
10 minis? Watch them both go up.
Okay, you want one more question to end off with?
Yeah, Emma, who do you think is going to be right though? That's the question. That's the one I really care about.
Honestly, I kind of started zoning you guys out because I was reviewing questions, so I don't.
Emma only knows how to trade the cat meme coins.
Cats and nukes.
Yeah,
I just didn't hear which sides you guys were taking there, and sorry.
Well, now, mind you, I probably wouldn't short gold, and I probably wouldn't short. If I had to take any trade out of that, I wouldn't short gold. I wouldn't short Bitcoin. I wouldn't long gold. I would long Bitcoin though.
Well, I mean, you guys can present next week.
Okay, let's see
who's right, and then you can explain to me what I actually missed there.
Okay, one last question, Emma, and then we'll get a winner.
Kind of a fun question to end off with. People have been asking throughout about timing the markets, and if there's a time where you were like particularly pleased with a victory in the market, where you were like, I exited at like a great moment. I made great gains on this. This is awesome. Do you have a bragging point? Can't think of one?
No, because I always could have done better.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
I can think of a few.
So recently the top, I had actually guessed that the inauguration date would be the exact top. Now, mind you, unfortunately, I don't have that much Bitcoin. So I'm not that proud of that, but I knew the exact day that the top was going to be months before without even looking at the chart, because you can sort of get a habit of understanding how to read the market based off of media. Okay. And the 20th of January was the inauguration date, and that was the exact top so far. Right. So that was a good high.
Yeah. I had a trade. It wasn't as on the Bitcoin and stuff like that, but I did have a trade on GJ. I remember the one. It was a couple of years ago. I did have a trade on GJ. I think I had about 400 pips on that trade. And this was before prop firms were like I was even trading them. So that I made quite a bit of money on that. And that was a nice trade for me. I do remember that. But yeah, you got to take the good and the bad with this, right? Nothing like one of our trades this week, our gold or Bitcoin could be completely wrong. You got to take the good and the bad with it. So you always got to celebrate those highs as well, right?
Okay, guys, let's wrap up there. Emma is going to pick a winner.
Yeah.
And if
All right, I have a winner picked out. They're going to be from Twitter this week because I've been favoring YouTube for the past couple of weeks. So it's Twitter's turn, and they were super active today, so they deserve it. So I will pop that in our Twitter chat, and we will post the winner on the Maven Twitter page so you guys can check it out.
Right on. And remember, guys, if you did not win, maventrading.com, you can get yourself one as low as $15 and accounts as high as $100,000. This month, we are doing Momentum March. It's all about snowballing yourself to profits, making sure you're on the right side of the trade, and keeping y'all's productivity high. Guys, on market open 000 GMT, I am doing a 24-hour live stream. That'll be fun. If you guys want to tune into that, it's not on the Maven channel. It's on my personal channel. So check that out in the Discord. You can join the Discord as well if you guys want to join the community and learn how to trade with us, Maven Trading. Thanks, guys. I'll see you next week.
Yes, sir.